And we're live. Yay!
Yay.
Hi, everyone.
Hi,
Welcome to our
everyone.
release party. Okay, so I'm Hallie Bridgman, and everyone go around and introduce yourself. Carrie, you're next on my screen. I don't know what your screen looks like.
I am Carrie Trumbo.
I'm Dory Harrell.
I'm JC Weaver.
Lisa Prysock.
I'm Lee Wen Ho.
Yay! So we're half of the group, half of the authors.
Yeah, we are.
Wrangling everyone to get to one place at 8:30 on a Tuesday night is a little bit more difficult than one might imagine.
Yes.
So let me see if I can see comments. So y'all leave comments. I should be able to put them up on the screen. So we would love to chat with you about our books. Have you read the books? Did you get your copy? So I wrote A Change of Address, which is a play on words because my character is a dressmaker and she moved. So she had a change of address. And my character, it was so much fun to write my main character because he is the third child of 11. And all of his siblings were named in alphabetical order. So the brothers and sisters all call each other by their letter. So he's C. So his brothers and sisters call him C. And it was just a fun family to write. So.
And you said she was the heroine.
Her name's Belle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's B and C.
Okay.
So does that mean that you're going to continue to cover the other siblings?
Oh yeah, I told Greg this totally opened me up to 11 books right here. Now I gotta keep going. But he's not the and I had like one of his sisters has a long steady boyfriend in the book, so I'll have to go in and add her, like fix her story so that she'll have to be next because she already is I'm gonna say engaged. I can't remember.
Right.
Maybe.
You could do a prequel.
Yeah, do a prequel. Yeah, because she's engaged already. So, but it was a fun family because some of the younger ones are still younger, right? So they're, he had middle schooler brother and sister in high school. So I'm going to flip over to the Facebook group and see if people are talking, because if they're talking, I'm not seeing them.
Okay. I think Chatona's coming.
Oh, cool. She had an interview she was doing and she was going to.
Right. Eli.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about your book, Carrie.
Boy, I wrote it so long ago at this point.
That's how I was like struggling. I've edited 2 books since I wrote mine. I can't even think of his name other than it starts with a C.
Right? So I have Lowell, who is he is an acquisitions coordinator for a small town museum, but there happens to be 2 museums in town, and my heroine works at the other museum, and there is a little rivalry between them, which gets her in a little bit of trouble. She is a historical reenactor, and she sews historical dresses. And she doesn't realize at the start of the story that he also knows his history and he knows these dresses, and it's a nice little connection for them. And he challenges her to get out of her historical world and into the 20th century through 3 date challenges. So that's pretty much the premise of the story. It's very short. It's only like 17,000 words, but
it's a lot of fun.
It is fun, and I'm
waiting. It's good.
Oh, go ahead.
No, it just has a lot of charm, cute charm too.
I can't wait to make it longer.
I have a huge advantage over everyone, don't I?
Yeah. You read all of them but mine, I think.
Yeah, and TK.
Oh, you didn't do TK?
So I have read 10 of the 12 books.
Wow.
And I'm intending to hit the other 2 this week.
The only reason Dory hasn't read mine is because I wrote it like September 1st.
Well, that's at least I had me. Or at least finished mine. I had mine going well before them. I hadn't finished it up, but
I told Greg at least I wasn't last.
oh, and I'm usually not the one. Like I told Carrie, this time I was.
See, and I'm like, deadlines? Oh, let's go right up to the line there. And this
You
time I
know-
didn't do that. I was very proud of myself.
Yes.
If you wait till the last minute, it only takes a minute.
Right.
You just keep telling yourself that.
Yeah, my editor Roselle is like that.
Well, I at least didn't cry this time when I got the edits back from my editor. First book I had edited, content edited. I cried when I got the edits back. And so this time I geared myself up. And I actually didn't shed any tears. So that's a big plus for me.
See, I like having you edit books because you never make me cry.
Yes, thank you. My editor is very hard, right? And she has no bedside manner. And she's one of the best in the industry. And she's known for this not bedside manner stuff. So, yeah. But I'm grateful still. Mm-hmm.
What's your book, Dory?
My book is Grateful for You. And the main character is, this is book 2 in the Cranberry Creek series. And her father died in the line of duty as a police officer. I never wanted to write a story with a police officer, but I wanted to give her the one thing she couldn't tolerate in her life. And that would have been to be with a police officer. So when her boyfriend proposes and switched gears on her for a career, she has no problem telling him no. But she knows she needs to be with him. She knows she's supposed to be with him. And when he comes back to town after the police academy, so he's a rookie. When he comes back to town, she knows. And so now she has to win him back. But all she can do is argue with him when she sees him. So she's just failing at it. So it was a lot of fun to give her the one thing she couldn't tolerate and to show how God moves you the direction he wants you to go in. So that was a lot of fun to give her her own story. I never expected her to even have her own story. And to research all the police officer stuff. What you watch on TV just isn't all true.
No.
Right? Because I was thinking, well, I can't have him wanting to join the gang unit because that's even worse because he's just a rookie, right? They start tracking for gang units at the police academy already. So I could have that little extra conflict in the story.
Deborah,
So-
hi. We're glad you're here. You're not late. You're on time. You're just on time. Lewin,
Oh, so
I'm going in order on my screen.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that, but no. My story is called One Vow for September, and I basically I got the month of September, so I decided to name my heroine September.
Oh,
Just to make things
fun.
easier. Yeah, so she, the male hero, they're writers at a magazine, and she gets assigned an article basically to write how to renew your wedding vows on a budget. So, but the thing is that her editor wants her to go in person to try out all these vendors and get pricing, things like that, to make the experience more authentic. But she doesn't have, well, she does have a boyfriend, but he's long distance and they're not really doing well. So who does she end up going with? The one guy she can't stand at her workplace. Yeah. So it's a romantic comedy, and they just go through a lot of different kind of fun accidental things, and a lot of sparks happen between them, and they come to kind of realize that they're actually good together. That with all the baggage that they have, they actually are able to trust each other and actually have a lot of fun together. So it was Good, a good experience to write that story.
That's awesome.
And
That
it's a
sounds like
fun
fun.
book.
Mhm.
Hi, Latoya. We're happy you're here. Lisa.
I'm right.
Okay, so like Carrie, I wrote my book like way back in January. I'm kind of pulling, but it's called A Valentine for Veronica, and Chad is the hero, and he's a software engineer, and she owns her own business, which is a temporary job placement agency, and he's like the software engineer for her company. And her problem is she buys the dress, but she doesn't have a boyfriend or a fiance. And in reading one of the reviews that came in today, I like what one of my readers said, that she tries to remedy this lack of a husband before realizing the answer has been right in front of her all along. And so that was just a good way of putting it. But basically, she has this dress and she agrees, she gets herself into trouble. I'm kind of good at that on a personal level. So I think that she gets herself in trouble by agreeing to be in a magazine photo spread as a featured wedding for Valentine's Day, or Valentine's time frame. And so she's got to find a husband in like 3 months because her pride won't let her back down and admit to the photographer that she doesn't have a husband. So that's the premise of the story. And one thing I like about how this story opens up is she fixes the hero's truck for him. So it's kind of cool having a lady.
That's how it opens.
Yeah, that's how it kind of opens. So that's an interesting tidbit to share.
That's fun.
I liked it.
Yeah.
My mom would be proud.
JC.
Well, hello. My book is Braver with You. It is for the month of October. And by the time I was invited to be part of this amazing group, I was on a major case of burnout. And so I had like zero creativity, zero ideas. I was stressing out. And so I actually was praying really hard, like, okay, God, do you even want me to do this? Because I don't know if I can. And so at that point, I just was giving it over to him because I just had a feeling like I needed to do this. But if I'm going to do this, Lord, you got to show me all the things that you want me to do. And so all in one day, Lisa posted some ideas in the Facebook group, and I saw one about a mother that was controlling and wanted her daughter to wear her dress. And then I went in and was looking at the calendar to see which month was open, and I saw October, and I'm like, October, Albuquerque, Balloon Fiesta, yes! And so then I went into the to deposit photos, and I was just looking through photos just to see if I could find some inspiration through the images there. And that's when I found my individual cover photo with the girl with the billowing dress behind her, and the Balloon Fiesta, and the grass and the mountains. And it was like, yes, this is meant to be. And so, and I even got the title, which I've never, ever, ever titled before I write the book. So it was just amazing how it all came together all in one day. And so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do this. And then as I started writing, I just knew Ashlyn and Conrad needed to be childhood sweethearts who had known each other forever. Their story had no drama between their relationship, which I was kind of worried about. I was like, oh no, this is not going to be a great romance because there's not going to be a big black moment between them. But I found it didn't need it because she has had enough black moments in her own past that more than made up for it. So helping have him be her support system and kind of forge that relationship stronger because of family drama and other traumas. It was just really fun to be able to write that. So it was neat.
That is
Good.
neat. I love the way that you got your inspiration from the pictures.
Yeah. You never know where something's going to just get you.
Yeah, yeah. That's really cool. I got my inspiration one time out of the phone book. Like
Reading
I
last
opened
name.
up the phone book and there was a name. And I was like, okay. That works. That was back when we had phone books. One of y'all is
Yeah.
typing and it's super loud. Yeah, it was super loud. Okay, so we have someone who says, congratulations on becoming a bestseller. That's awesome. We hit #1 on one of the Amazon categories. So that's really cool. And someone else said that she loves that a lady can fix a car for a gentleman.
Yeah.
All right, Carrie, we have a bracelet to give away.
We do.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I have to get my banner ready.
Yes. We actually drew the name via random.org just right before we went live. And the winner is. Do you want to say it or do you want me to? Fedora Chen. Congratulations.
Yay! Congratulations. Oh, Lisa's back.
And I'll be sending this lovely bracelet out to you tomorrow.
I'm so excited about that bracelet. I wish we'd made 2.
I know, right? Oh,
Shatona!
Hey!
Long interview. I'm just saying.
Well,
I bet you need your Coke.
we just finished talking about our books. So tell us about your book.
Oh, my book. What is my book again?
Adoring April.
Adoring April.
Yes, April. Okay, so I hear an echo.
I don't hear an echo.
Okay, good. Then I'm just going to ignore me. That's kind of weird. Anyway, so Adoring April is part of my Marriages of Conviction series. It's really hard to ignore me. And in that series, each individual book, someone has a conviction that marriage will solve, if you will. I don't know how else to put it, but it'll solve this conviction. Like, so the first book, she was studying scripture and she realized that we kind of get this whole marriage and romance thing backwards. We get married to be happy and end up serving the Lord and honoring him as kind of a byproduct. And shouldn't it be the other way around, where we're trying to honor the Lord and serve the Lord, and marriage is one way to do it, and our happiness is the byproduct? And so she decides, okay, and she asks a guy she's actually never been out with to marry her. So it's kind of a weird book. And so in the second book, it's a similar theme. He's got an option. He can either adopt this baby or the mother's going to abort it. Those are his options. And so he's a single dude and he adopts the baby, because what else would you do? You know, there really isn't a choice. Or in my book, there's not a choice. So he, but then he kind of discovers there's a reason that God planned for 2 parents, because this whole single dad thing is really hard, especially with an infant. And so meanwhile, we've got another gal who has issues with the whole pro-life movement, because everybody has don't kill the baby, but there's not enough emphasis on support the baby, support the mother, make something other. And so she's really fed up with the whole movement. And here's an opportunity to. So for this book, I had to do something short. I didn't know how to pull off short. And so instead of having people that they know, because we all know Shatona doesn't do short. So instead of having, the easiest way to do that is to make sure that people know each other really well already. And so you don't have to do that kind of. And I went, no, I'm not doing the easy route. I'm going to make it hard, because Shatona. And so my book is basically, we got a preacher who decides he wants to serve in a small church. He doesn't want these mega churches, and he's kind of got a little bit of fame because he's written some pretty popular books, and the big churches want him. And he's like, I really think the Lord is calling me to serve in a small church. It's, it's his conviction. Yeah. But the church is pretty old fashioned, and they're like, yeah, but you're not married. We need married. And so this little old lady at church, who's been kind of like a and she's really not that old, but in his mind she is. She's kind of like a grandma to him. She's like, that's okay. I've solved the problem. April wants to be a mom. You need to be married. Done. And they're like, wait, what? But then they do it. And it's all about how and why they do it and what God does in them.
That's awesome.
It's
very cool.
One of my favorites, and I didn't think I was going to like it at all. And then I got done and I went, I like this. But then I missed everybody else's. Is this being recorded?
Yes.
Good.
Yep.
I get to read everybody else's.
It's on YouTube and it's on our Facebook group.
Oh, perfect. Yep.
So, well, this is fun. Does anyone out there have any questions about our books or us as writers? Or it does sound, see, someone agrees with me. It sounds fabulous, Shatona. I'm gonna have to read it
Oh, thank you.
now that I'm caught up with my books and can breathe a little bit.
Oh, I've heard of that. Can I get caught up and breathe, please?
Right,
Or just breathe. I'll take breathe. I'll take
Yeah.
breathing. Actually, you know what? The smoke is gone, so I'm breathing again. So I really can't complain. But then we got a dust storm. It looked like the smoke was back, and no, we had a dust storm. So 9 semis blew over yesterday on the highway.
Oh my
out by
goodness.
town. 9 semis. They just blew over.
Wow.
Yeah, it is windy
Welcome
here,
to the
but
desert.
I like that.
Yeah. We always have
Where are
wind.
you at, Shatona?
I'm
Where-
in California. I'm in California's Mojave Desert. If you are familiar with China Lake Naval,
Wow.
I can never remember whether we're a station or a center now. They change it every now and then to keep us on our toes. But where the big 7.1 earthquakes were a couple of years ago,
hmm
that's us.
I thought you said you were in California, so you are still out there. Okay.
So let me see who this is because I can see it. Deborah says, I know you have had a very hard time with illness and death during trying to get the set together. What is one positive that has come out of the pandemic? So what's one positive that's come out of the pandemic?
My verbs have gotten way better.
Your
Through
what?
editing, my
Her
verbs.
verbs.
Through editing. I think I did 8 rounds of editing on this one.
Verbs
Better
are
not be
useful.
any
Sorry, I had to sit
mistakes in it.
Verbs make things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got to deal with the state of being verbs, and Greg is really good at giving my manuscripts what I like to call butt reduction surgery.
Take all the butts
You know,
out.
We
Yes.
go through like stages of stuff. Like I told Hallie one time, I went through my exclamation point stage, and now I went through my verb stage. So I'm good.
I was running a book through Grammarly today, and I didn't put a comma after every time someone started a sentence with the word so what are you going to do about that? And so it kept hitting it for a comma, and that made me realize how many times my characters start with so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It must be from the
Wait, let me
Midwest.
go back and search for capital SO and reword all of those dialogue because clearly I'm stuck in a rut.
It's my husband and my brother-in-law. They both start every sentence with so.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I got needle and thread. What you gonna make? Because
Lisa, I muted you because your microphone is giving some feedback, but if you want to talk, just unmute. I just muted you for the microphone feedback. So, all right. One positive that's come out of the pandemic.
Well, I wrote more books last year than I have ever been able to write in a single year. It was kind of awesome. And it's all tied into the fact that my kids go to 2 different schools on opposite sides of the city. And so during the school year, I end up spending an hour and a half to 2 hours in the car every day, driving all the way over to get them and waiting in the line and then driving all the way back home. And so not having that 2-hour commute was like heaven. I was not complaining about having my kids home because we were shut down. Like New Mexico was closed for, I don't know, we barely opened in July of this year. So they were home all last school year. So it was kind of nice. I was not complaining.
I got a cat.
That's
You got a cat?
ooh.
Mhm. Our third. His
A
name is
pandemic
Poggers.
cat? What did you name the cat after
Poggers.
the pandemic?
No, his name is Poggers, like play of the game, Pog.
Oh, Poggers, got it.
Mhm. So that's my positive. You got a cat.
You needed another rabbit though,
I know. I do need another rabbit.
right?
Everybody needs another rabbit.
We sort of got a dog just as it was beginning. Nobody really was paying much attention to it. It was supposed to be a we'll find a home so it doesn't go to the pound. Yeah.
And you still have it?
Yes. We still have the the darling thing.
Well,
What's
my
this one's
positive
name?
is that my husband no longer travels for work. So he was gone a week, home a week, gone a week, home a week, and now he's home full time. That is a definite
Nice.
positive. Yeah.
Mhm.
And at the same time, we started homeschooling our kids. And so it's like everyone is home all the time. I love it. It's wonderful. Makes me happy.
Yeah.
I discovered gardening during the pandemic.
Oh, cool.
And now I have flowers. And so my character is what I would dream of. She has a landscaping business, Dreamscape, because I do stupid stuff, but I don't even know. Like I plant in March and all my friends are like, no, Dory, not yet. I'm like, oh, it'll be fine. Look how nice it is. I'm still planting in November, like my character in the book does. For all you fall gardeners out there who are with me and understand why I'm planting in November.
Yep.
Yep. And sure, some of my stuff doesn't make it, but what did come back and made it this year was pretty extraordinary. Heat wave and all.
Yay.
We killed
Where are
everything.
you that you had a
but
heat wave? Dory,
Pardon, I didn't hear.
you said heat wave?
Oh, the heat wave. Yeah,
Where
our
are you?
highs. I'm in Eastern Washington State,
Okay,
where our
okay.
average highs in July and August are 89 and 88. We hit 115
Yeah.
on June 30th.
Yeah.
And
Welcome to
we
my world.
we stayed over. I know for people who live in Arizona and New Mexico and Texas, right? But Washington, right? We stayed over 100, over 105 for days on end. And we only ever hit below 95 once or twice until late August.
Wow.
So it was insane trying to keep, because I didn't know it was coming. And I started planning in March and even November the previous year. But I didn't know it was coming, trying to keep all that alive. Took my husband and I every break from our work day, because we both work from home when we're not traveling, took every break from our work day to keep it alive.
Wow.
Got more patience than I do.
Oh, I was like, maybe we'll just let it all go. If I hadn't spent so much money, I might have let it all go. You know?
Latoya says it sounds like Caribbean weather, and she's in the Bahamas. So
Oh,
Yeah. I grew up in Vegas, So it was like that when I was growing up. And
Mhm.
being in New Mexico, it does not usually get that hot, maybe every few years. So I've so lost my tolerance for that kind of heat.
I'm not I'm not a fall weather person. And so I hang on to summer as long as I can. Everybody else's garden, by the way, is put to bed. Mine is still being fertilized, right? I hang on as long as I can to summer. But I thought maybe this year it would be different, right? Because the heat wave, couldn't wait for the cool weather. But now that it actually has cooled down, right? I just wanted to stay around for a while.
Barbados. Sorry, Latoya,
Yeah.
you're right. I was going from my memory. I have a container garden. So I have a
Oh.
stacking garden,
Mhm.
and I did green beans in it, and it worked. And I'm really
Oh.
impressed with that because I didn't. It was just, I'm like, well, what does it hurt to try? I tried corn and green beans, and the corn didn't do,
Right.
but the green beans did. So
How'd you stake them?
with stakes.
With stakes, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I
In the
stuck
container.
stakes into so they're like clover, but 4.
Mhm.
So I stuck 4 stakes in, and so the stakes are like going like this. So the green beans grew kind of diagonally out, but you get two rounds on green beans,
Mhm.
right? So I did 1 round, and then we have a new puppy, a boxer puppy, and a 6-year-old boxer, and they love the green beans. So the second round, I just leave on it, and they'll just go pick a green bean. And it's so fun, and I don't even care, So
Right. My kids liked frozen green beans. That was their favorite snack when they were little. So they would go, Mom, can I get green beans? And they come in from outside. They're dirty. They're covered in dirt. Because we don't have grass. We have dirt. Well, it's more like sand, but same smell. And they come in and they pull out the frozen bag of green beans. And they'd be handing out like candy, And they all go out. Yeah, my kids are weird.
I would. My kids always called peas garden candy. I have never put up any peas because my kids would eat them so fast that I couldn't.
Oh, raw peas straight from
Oh,
the
yeah.
garden. The
All day.
best.
Yeah. So, but because I live on a military installation, so I can't have a garden. So I'm stuck with the containers until I can get my house,
Mhm.
until I can have an actual garden.
Oh.
Real garden.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it doesn't
have
grow here well.
at all. Can't you
Not
make
very, some people do. Some people do some stuff, but we'll see. Mom's got mums out there now.
I have
We'll
a
see how
friend
long they last.
who was stationed at Fort Bliss, Texas, which is El Paso, which is desert
Mhm.
and hot. And she had this oasis. Like she creates, like their backyard fence was stone, and the first day they were there, it was dirt. And by the time they left 3 years later, it's like an actual oasis. They planted trees, they planted lavender, they had year-round garden going. There's no telling what their water bill was, but
Yes.
I don't think they get as cold there as we get.
I
They
don't
get really
know.
cold.
El Paso, closer to
Because
Mexico.
that's what desert is. It's the big extremes, the very hot, the very cold. And so, yeah, it's not Michigan, Minnesota cold, but in my opinion, once it hits freezing, it's cold.
No matter where you are.
Yeah.
Frozen is frozen. You just get
Yes.
there faster in temperatures.
One of the coldest winters I ever spent was in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. The temperature fell into the 20s, and the air is so humid that it was like the wind was blowing ice into your face in 20-degree weather. It was miserable cold. And I think it was because of the humidity in the air,
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I've been in Fort Drum, New York, so it doesn't get colder than Fort Drum. It's like the coldest spot in the continental United States.
Really?
So, yeah.
Oh, I would have thought it was somewhere along the Great Lakes in Michigan. I don't know why, but that's where my brain would have gone,
North, yeah.
Well, it's on the border of Canada, and
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
And it's actually like north of Syracuse, and it's way colder than Syracuse. Like somehow the way that it's positioned, it's just simply the coldest spot.
That's cool.
Mhm.
I feel like I
It was
need this
when we were there
information.
one year. My mom had a broken knee, and I had to move with them because my mom had a broken knee and my dad's unit was deploying to Somalia. So they picked me up in Fort Benning, where I was with my ex-husband, and I went up to Fort Drum with them, and in Georgia. So I was moved from Florida to Georgia, and then I was 19 and moving to Fort Drum, and it's January, and I've grown up in the South, and it starts snowing somewhere in Northern Virginia. And my mom is with a broken knee that she broke on the move. Like she fell in the move. My dad's been driving for like 4 days because my mom broke her knee. My brother and sister, the dog, they're all in the van. And my dad pulls over and he's like, "You can drive now." And I said, "Drive what?" He said, "Drive to New York." And I said, "I've never driven in snow." He's like, "This is the best way to learn." And he got in the back of the van and went to sleep. So it was either sit there on the side of the road in Northern Virginia in a snowstorm or drive my family to Fort Drum, because he knew he was leaving to Somalia. So I had to learn how to drive in the snow. That was crazy. That's what happens when your dad is an Army
You
Ranger.
would have to learn. Yeah. Yeah. I just sat there. I'm like, I'm not going to kill us. So I would have just sat there. You take that nap, Dad. We're good. I got a book.
Yeah, well, you can keep going in a little while. Yeah, that's how I learned how to drive in the snow. That was fun.
That's my kind of fear. It's a little strong, but the idea of driving in the snow because I don't know how. I don't mind if I know there's not going to be anyone around. I'd love to learn it. But the idea of going through that snow and I don't know what I'm doing, and am I going to kill somebody?
Well, there are plenty
probably.
of people in Minnesota who don't know how to drive in the snow either.
Yeah.
If you ask,
Be right at home.
if you ask any
come
one of my
visit you.
kids about driving in the snow, any one of our 4 kids, they will tell you all the same thing. They'll say, I know, Mom. Drive slow in the snow. Drive slow in the snow. I have drilled it into them.
Or Ohio, someone says.
Yeah.
Kentucky, too.
I'm dreading Indiana. Next time I go to Indiana, it'll be possible snow weather. And I'm like,
So I was parking. I took my mom to a doctor's appointment one time, and now it's February. My dad's not home. And so there was ice like this thick on the parking lot. And, snowbanks are like 7 feet tall. It's crazy. And I tried to slip our van into like the parking space, but there wasn't enough room. And I hit the car next to it. But it didn't do anything except move over on the ice.
Yeah.
that's an advantage.
I was fine.
That needs to be in a book. Let me know when you put that in there. I need to read that. Oh, goodness. Oh, my goodness. I like that.
We keep losing Lisa.
And
Leland left.
Lewin had to sign off to feed her family.
Oh, because it's the time change.
difference.
Time
Yeah.
difference, yeah. Time zone. Mhm.
I put mine on the stove to stay warm and said, "Here, do this when Dad gets home."
And I left defrosted meat in the fridge. If they're hungry, they'll do something with it. And I just lost any chance at Wife of the Year. But you know what? We all knew there wasn't one. So we're good.
I don't think that's a real award.
Yeah.
That's a good thing because I would never have. I've been disqualified from Mom of the Year until like the year 3219. So it just keeps getting pushed back every week. Yeah.
That's okay. Awards are overrated anyway.
Right?
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
So we have two hands so that we can.
Yeah. Somebody's got it. Can I? I
That's
can
right.
if I
Somebody's
go
gotta do it.
crossways. Yeah, let's go with that. So what's everybody writing right now? Or is everybody not writing and I'm the only insane one?
I'm writing a series of a romantic suspense series with the Special Forces A-Team.
Mhm.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
Now,
Very
do you
cool.
have specialized knowledge into that? You said your dad was an Army Ranger
My dad was an Army Ranger and my husband is Special Forces.
and your husband's Special Forces.
Yeah. So part of the proposal to Ravel was, why am I qualified to write this?
Mhm.
And so I listed my contacts and my experience. And so I have the first one is done and gone, like it's already gone through the first round of editing with them.
Mhm.
And the second one I'm sent to her Friday, and the third one I'm running Grammarly on it right now, getting ready to send it.
Good for you. What's the word count on those? Are they
90 to 95.
right?
So two of them are like one of them was like 94, 989. And the next one was 94, 638. And the next one is 85. And I'm like sitting here running Grammarly thinking, how am I going to add 10,000 more words? There's somewhere in here I've jumped time. I just got to find it.
Right.
That's cool.
I cannot fathom that many words.
Me either.
Oh, that's my sweet spot. 90,000 is my sweet spot.
Too sweet.
Carrie's like, I know, she doesn't shut up.
I never said that.
But I can see it in your eyes.
Well, I'm glad so many out there like the shorter ones too. It's been
Yeah.
a great launch into fiction writing after a nonfiction career. So doing nonfiction writing career, so doing the and writing and launching with the box sets has just been a really confidence booster. And I'm really glad that, get your feet wet instead of jumping right into 90,000 words for your first time.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, imagine how hard I'd cry when I got those edits back. Right?
No kidding. Yeah, I
No,
think
the
my novels
editor
are-
even cries when the editor gets her edits.
Yeah. Yeah, I think my novels are still like at 75,000 maybe. And that was stretching it for me. I love the short books, but that's probably because I love to read the short books. My attention span is like a toddler. It just is. So, but I have enough of that perfectionism that I'm still trying to overcome, that I've got to be able to finish a book. So I like the short stuff so that I can actually finish a book in a sitting and not feel guilty that I'm ignoring everybody in my universe, because I do. I get in the book and I'm gone, and it's probably 6 times, mom.
No multitasking. Right? I don't multitask at all. Some of you might have noticed. And, yep. And I find that's not uncommon with writers and editors to not multitask. My friends used to make fun of me. And then at work, they had a whole lecture on how multitasking isn't good for work production. Suddenly, I'm the hero now, the winner now.
Yeah.
Because I don't multitask after being teased for years.
Wow.
Well, it's really a myth anyway. I mean, most multitasking isn't. It's just rapid switching. I mean, technically,
Yes.
if I've got dinner in the oven and laundry in the washing machine and I'm washing dishes, I'm multitasking, but I'm really not. But I mean, technically that is. But if I'm switching from email to writing to that, that's not multitasking. That's just switching fast. And it is. It's really bad for your brain.
Oh,
I
and I
had a
can't do
boss
it.
who would have one hand on a computer keyboard or keypad and one hand on a calculator keypad, and would add 2 columns of numbers while he was going through accounts at the same time. That's actual multitasking.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't hire him. I wouldn't trust him. He's probably
Number like
amazing,
Casey.
but my
He's
brain,
brilliant. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
my brain would be like, I'd have to check every number to make sure.
No, if there's a number in it, I'm out.
We homeschool, so I have one in pre-algebra and one in algebra. And it's like,
Whoa.
I'm at the point now where I'm having to, like, Scott came in today with the question about today's work. And so he's like, I said, what is it? And he's whatever he said. I don't even remember now. And I'm like, okay, let me see the book. So then I go back to the beginning of the chapter, start reading. And I had to, like, Greg said, knock the rest off and get to the point. I'm like,
Yes.
okay, I remember now. Let's talk.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what he was talking about at first.
And I've done this with 9 kids, and I still have to do it every single time. They bring me the thing, and I gotta go. Okay, hold on. I gotta check this out, and it drives me crazy. But I figure it's got to be good for the whole dementia thing.
I didn't know. I was helping my grandson with first grade math. First grade math. And he was like, no, Grandma, that's not how they want you to do it. I'm like, what do you mean? They don't want you to carry. No, they don't carry the number.
Nope, you don't carry in first grade anymore.
What? They
No,
don't
in fact,
carry
they teach
numbers
it 5
anymore.
different ways now.
Yeah.
At
They can pick
least.
which one they like.
I was like,
Yeah, so they
what?
can pick which one they like. So my
Yeah.
son who has autism, when he learns a way, that's the only way he can do it.
Mhm.
So learning to count or learning to add is this, but multiplying is memorization, right? So it takes him longer to figure out what 8 plus 2 is than it would be
Than
to what 8
Right.
times 2 is, right? So there was a math problem yesterday that I had a formula for, and I'm like, this is the formula. And he's like, well, this is how I'm going to do it. And he got on my whiteboard and he started making ticks. You can't see my hand. He
Oh,
started
yeah.
making ticks.
That's-
And then
That's
he
fine.
grouped and subtracted and grouped and came up with the same answer I did with an algebraic formula.
Hmm.
I was like, well, he's like, well,
You're
am I wrong?
impressive,
And I
kid.
said, no, you're right. So that works. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
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 Here's the
In his
formula.
brain. It worked.
And he's like, I can do it this way. And I'm like, this took like 10 times longer than mine. But
Yeah.
he's like, but I got the same formula. And I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Right?
Oh, yeah. In
But
high
he
school.
not do it that way now because he learned how to do it that way back in when they were building up that into algebra moment. We're going to group ticks. Tick marks.
I just married an electrical engineer, so we have an even division of labor when it comes to school subjects. I'm like, I ain't touching that.
Because
They
I'm the
come to
type
me
in,
first because I'm more patient, but then they get
Yeah.
impatient because me and me having to figure it out again.
Right.
And so then eventually if I'm not fast enough, they give up and they go to impatient dad because they're impatient to get
So yeah, if they want to get in and out in a hurry, then they will come to me for help because they know that I will feed them the tips and tricks on how to just shortcut that thing. If they want to know it and learn it really thoroughly, then they will go and see dad.
See, I'm surprised his ways are not more efficient as an engineer.
Yeah, we're polar opposites in every way, and I love it.
That's awesome.
So is he a natural teacher?
No, that's me. But he's gotten really, really good at it over the years because he's had so much practice with girls. So he's thorough in his teaching, but he's very patient about it. And I am way more, I'm patient on everything except for math and science. And then I'm like, let's go the shortcut route all the way every time. Can we
I'm with
Google
you
this
on
thing?
that.
Let's Google this thing and find the quickie way.
There's this thing called Google. Let's find out what I do this sometimes. Let's find the answer and let's figure out how they got to it. So so here's the answer. Here's the thing. So see if you can do this. What are you going to do next? No, that's not the right step. What do you think the step is? I'm that mom. Yeah. But at least I know I'm not taking them to the wrong answer.
Well, I discovered Khan Academy, and I like,
Yes.
oh, I get it now. I get it now.
Khan
I don't know if
Academy.
you watch those videos,
For
but I was
elementary
like, oh, that makes sense now.
Yeah. For every grade, that site is amazing.
Yeah.
Very cool. Carrie, what are you working on right now?
I'm working on a Christmas novella.
Ooh.
For this
Is it
year?
Cutter?
Yeah, for this year, I got to have it done in a week.
Yeah, I'm with you. But
I'll
is
start
it
it
in
tonight.
Cutter Creek?
What's that?
Is
What
it
did
in
you say?
Cutter Creek?
Yep, Return to
Is
Cutter
it in
Creek.
Cutter Creek?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're just short. They're like 25 to 30,000 words, so it won't take long.
Sweet spot.
For Carrie, that's like a day's worth of writing. I'm just
Not quite like that.
don't get it.
Oh, it's
And
three.
I
It
try to
takes her
get
three.
it, but I don't.
About a week, yeah.
Oh man, I need to do something to figure out how to get faster because I think I'm the slowest writer. Sometimes it can go quickly, but most of the time it's not. I overthink everything.
Well, that makes sense. Have you
Yeah.
tried, not just tried as in once or twice, but have you like given yourself like 3 weeks of dictation attempts?
I don't like dictation because it drives me insane when they don't understand everything I'm saying. And I don't like it being messy. I don't like, I can't. So that's probably why it takes me so long, because I like a really neat and clean first draft. Because it's in my brain, it's more efficient. It might not actually be more efficient, obviously, because it takes me forever. But yeah, and most of the time I pants out of everything, so I don't have any idea anything about other than the basic character outline. And I kind of think this is what's going to happen, but until I spend some time with my characters and all of their psychology, then I don't even understand the plot of what's going to happen or why until it starts coming out. So that's that overthinking, and that's loads of fun. So yeah, and like I said, recovering perfectionist. So trying really hard to let go of that need to have that clean first draft. But yeah, I don't think one.
Yeah, I end up with a reasonably clean one. It's not, it needs to be edited, but I don't have to do a lot of rewrites. You know, I know a lot of people, they get their, and the way Hallie does it is insane. I think it's brilliant. It's totally brilliant, but I could never do that. You have a mind that is beyond belief. It is, oh my word. But I start at the beginning and I write to the end, and I almost never add in, and I almost never deviate from the timeline. And when I'm done, there might be a few missing commas and a few too many butts that need surgery. But other than that, it's pretty much what you're going to end up with.
I
So
have
what's
like
Haley's
5
process?
passes. Mine, I call it writing in layers. So once I get my characters set, I write just action and dialogue. And then I go back in and I add thoughts. And then I go back and I add feelings. And then I go back and I set the scene and describe clothing and characters and the set. And then I go and I run it through like Grammarly.
Yeah, it's just amazing.
So by the time I'm done, I've gone from beginning to end like 5 times. And in the process of that, I've caught a lot of passive verbs. And I also do that. I search, before I run it through Grammarly, I search for passive verbs and rewrite any sentence that contains a passive verb if I possibly can. So that I create like the stronger structures of sentences.
Yeah.
It's very tedious. That's very tedious. But the first part, the action dialogue, only takes a little while. So, you know, I have a book written in just a few weeks, but I've done like loads of stuff to it by the time I'm done. Because the whole story gets done very quickly. Then I just, the rest is just the filler. Yeah. Just the stuff that makes it interesting to read.
Keeps it from sounding like a laundry list, which is kind of technically what I did with my first book. That very first book I wrote, it was like 60,000 words.
Probably just action and dialogue, probably.
It probably was. It read like a laundry list. It really did. But that 60,000 words became 2.5 or 2 1/3 books that were each 120,000 words.
Yeah.
By the time I started filling stuff. So yeah, and there's probably a lot of butts that I could get out of those too.
Well, I get annoyed because I feel like a reader should know what the feelings are based on the action and dialogue. But apparently,
ya.
I have to write it anyway. Whatever. Fine, I'll write it.
And see, when I'm reading, I don't even care about the setting. I don't care what they're wearing. I don't care what they look like. I'm like, skim to the good stuff. So I like the action and dialogue. I have to make myself I have to make myself write all of those little details because they are snooze fest to me, and I hate that. I really wish I could be more.
I have a sign below my monitor that says, "Don't be lazy. Color, smell, sound, taste, temperature, thoughts, feelings."
Yes. It's so hard to have that discipline.
Are you going to be a big sister?
Are you going to be a big sister?
Yeah.
What's your baby sister's name? Say it. What's her name?
Annie.
Oh, that's the sweetest voice ever. And
She's super excited.
yes, I can tell. How fun.
Thanks for letting her join in for a minute.
On being a big sister, that's a very important job.
Very important
Yes.
job. She's super excited. And
Hi.
where's Annie now?
Annie.
Where's she now?
Yeah.
Is she in mommy's tummy?
Yeah.
Yeah. And until 5 a.m. when they induce labor.
Oh, very cool.
Mhm. Thank you.
Congratulations.
This was fun.
This was fun,
This was
but
a
I
lot
think we
of
probably
fun.
should go.
Bye.
Yeah.
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 That's been
Bye.
almost an hour.
Bye.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Thank you, everyone who
Thanks for
joined
thinking of it,
us.
Haley. Everyone who joined us. Just thanks for hanging out. What fun.
Ah.
It was
Yes.
fun. So
It was
until
nice
next
getting to
time,
talk with you all.
right?
Till next
Yeah.
time.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Oh.
Oh, she's adorable.